What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Here we are with another reaction. In this one, we have is the Netherlands safe? Safety in the Netherlands versus America. Before we dive into the video, if you guys happen to enjoy, please don't forget to smash subscribe, get a video a thumbs up. Also, if you guys would like to support the channel by becoming a member, all you gotta do is hit that join button and receive your exclusive benefits. Let's dive in.
So it is going on 4 years since I've left America and moved to the Netherlands. And every time I go back and visit the States, one of the questions I get asked the most is it actually safe compared to the States? I'm gonna have to say it's a big old fat All right, now before we get into it, I do have to state, look, this is not a diss track towards America, nor the Netherlands. I'm just going by my experience. So look, if you disagree with something, you want to pull up in the comments after you hit that subscribe button. And I also, along with that, I will only be talking about my experiences because, look, I'm from the hood of Chicago. I've also lived in Atlanta for a long time, and I've also moved to LA. So I'm gonna talk about experience I've had in these places. Something that I always say, and I say it openly, like I ain't got no shade saying it, is when I go back and visit Chicago, I do not go to where I'm from. I do not go to the hood. Like, I'm just being real. I'm just being real. I remember going back like
I ain't never been to Chicago, but if I were to go, it definitely would not be to the hood. I understand.
Once, and this was like years ago. This was when my grandmother passed away. I went back, and no joke, I was sitting at a stop. I was behind a car, and it was a bit strange because this car was just like sitting there, like legit, like the light's green, he's still sitting there. But the one thing I've learned from being in Chicago is you do not honk and you don't flash your lights. And man, good thing I didn't, because man, you see, while I was sitting there, they were waiting for somebody to hop in the car. That's why they weren't moving. They were picking somebody up. And so the guy comes out, hops in the car, and I'm not even lying, you could see a stick hanging out his back. And now look, for y'all who don't know what I mean by a stick, I'm gonna go ahead and just put a text right here saying what it is. And what's crazy about the whole thing was the dude who was getting in the car was nice. He was like waving like, sorry, just hop right in, but with a stick hanging out the back. And look, if I'm being real, I don't even think I was in the hood. Like, I wasn't in my hood, my old hood. I don't even remember where I was. And I have definitely experienced a lot more than this in Chicago. But that, like, come on, like, just hanging out like, it was like literally just tucked, hanging out the back as he was.
To have an assault rifle just tucked, like, we not talking about a pistol of any kind. We talking about an assault rifle hanging out. Yeah, see, that's why I'll be honking at people too. No matter how much rage I got, if somebody cut me off, if somebody won't let me over, no matter, I'm not honking, I'm not getting attitude. You know what? I'm gonna just let it ride, because you don't, in the US, you don't know. You don't know.
Getting in the car. And now for anybody who don't know this, but Chicago is known for its violence, and especially in the south side of Chicago, like in the hood, like, and that's where I'm from. And that's why I don't go back, man. I go to Chicago, but I never go to the hood. Like, I did my nickel, I ain't going back, like, for real. Oh no, it's raining, dang. It's been kind of raining off and on all day, and I'm all the way in the pipe. Also too, I think Van Gogh and like all the museums are actually down that way. I would go down that way, but it's raining, man. Like, I don't want to get the drip wet too much. And also too, if you go down this way, so the museums are that way, but if you go down this way, you'll actually run into Vondel Park, as well as that Hard Rock Cafe that I went to that one day. Go check that video out, how much I spent in a day. Go check it out. And now, the whole thing in Chicago sounds so crazy the more and more I think about it. But like, that's the norm over there. Like, it's expected. It's like, oh, it's just Chicago. Something like that would never happen here. And I'm gonna be honest, when I was in Atlanta, this stuff didn't happen, not really on that scale. Yeah. But they carry heavy too in Atlanta. Like, it is, yeah, and they be carrying in the nice areas openly. I don't understand where all these weapons and how all this stuff is happening. But at the same time, I think I kind of get it in a sense of like, a lot of people are afraid to call police. Like, I've had so many incidences like involving police in my life in Chicago, a couple of times alone. And yeah, it wasn't all that great. I would not, if I was in trouble, I'll be honest, I would not call the police.
Yeah.
I mean, again, don't get me wrong. I am pro police. It's just I've had too many situations personally happen to me that I would not call the police.
I feel that. If I was in trouble, I absolutely would. If I thought it was absolutely necessary. But yeah, I don't really I just feel uncomfortable around police. Not that I've ever experienced them doing me any wrong. Anytime they've ever pulled me over, they've ever gave me a ticket or anything, I've been in the wrong. So I've been speeding, I'm breaking the law in some way. So won't be. I'm not mad at that, but I don't know. I just feel uncomfortable around police officers. That's just me though. But yeah, if I was in trouble, I would call. But I can understand him being from Chicago, being from the hood, not calling. I get it.
But that's just me. And now, speaking of police, my life in Atlanta. Now, that was an interesting one only because, I'll be honest, again, I'm pro-police, but man, that police harassment, that did not make me feel safe. Like, I have experienced it a few times in Chicago, like when we got arrested while we were playing basketball or when I got shoved against that wall to get checked, and a few other situations. But in Atlanta, I don't know what, maybe it's because it's the South, but holy cow, like, man, these people, they were on me all the time. And it's mainly started when I had to be maybe 16 and I was starting to drive more. That's when it started to happen, like just over and over. Just the audacity of like pulling a kid over, telling them to get out of the car, putting handcuffs on them, you know, searching them, then searching the car, thinking the car is like stolen. Do you have drugs? Do you have weapons? Like just all of that for somebody who's 16. My first time this happened to me, I was 16. And I was legit just getting over all the Chicago stuff because that didn't happen that happened maybe 4 years prior or so, something like that. But I was just getting over that stuff. And then the moment I started driving, it just started all over again. And it just kept happening. Like I don't know how many times this would happen to me, but it just kept happening. Especially when I would be with my Asian friends. It just kept happening. And now other than that though, I'll be honest, Atlanta wasn't so bad. I mean, it wasn't like I felt safe when I was just out and about. It was just certain incidents, like this harassment that would happen to me with the cops, and also the harassment that would happen to me at stores. And now when it comes to living here, I will say I have never felt that way at all when it came to police or people of authority. Never felt that way at all. I'm just being dead serious. No one ever pulled me over, stopped to check me. No one's never just stopped and asked me questions, stuff like that. Like, it's just never happened. Even at stores, people don't stop and think I'm stealing, you know, like it just never happens. I mean, I could even go as far as to say that I do feel comfortable talking to police officers here. I do it all the time. Like I'll just randomly stop and talk to them just to ask them like, hey, is this boosted board legal? Man, I know that sounds funny, but it is the truth. I've actually done that. I've asked them about my boosted board. I've asked about my scooters, anything that like, I've asked them for directions. Like it's crazy. But yeah, not so much in Atlanta though. I mean,
I think that's so great that now like he doesn't have that fear of police and he can just walk up and talk to him about almost anything, ask him almost any questions, whereas that wasn't the case. And I will say he moved to Atlanta. I live in Georgia. I live like 2.5 hours away from Atlanta though. But I will say driving, although I said I was in the wrong, and I was, the police are a lot stricter out here about speeding. I come from Texas. When I get on that Texas freeway, bro, I'm gone. I'm punching the gas. I'm out of, and cops ain't really sweating me. And I get to Georgia, don't you drive by a cop and you going over that speed limit, you're getting pulled over. It's not an if and or but about you're getting pulled over. And I know Texas is more south than Georgia. Like Texas all the way at the bottom. But it's just I was good in Texas. In Georgia I have to be a lot more careful. Driving wise.
Yeah, again, it's gotten better, especially with the cops. I have not had any incidents within the last, I would say, pretty much since I've left. I haven't had any crazy incident. I have gotten a couple pullovers just for random stops, which was, they kind of made it obvious that there was like racially profiling. But for the most part, I didn't have to get out of my car, not once, since I left and moved to LA. So now the Dutch police are great. What about Dutch drivers? Do people drive safe? Because you definitely cannot talk about safety without talking about driving.
And from watching so many not just bikes videos, I've seen that the Dutch people definitely drive great. Due to like the Netherlands, very cyclist friendly, very walker friendly, car friendly, a little bit less it feels like. But they do so much on the streets and everything to make sure that cars are going the correct speed. And there's just so much work they put in because, like I said, very cyclist friendly, very walker friendly. Don't want accidents to happen. I feel like Netherlands would, though I feel like traffic and everything, having to wait for these bikes and stuff might be a little upsetting for someone like me who hates waiting in traffic. But then I think they also got different lanes, so I'm not sure.
I remember when I started driving my motorcycle, wow, like people cannot drive. I've been hit by cars. I think I've been hit by like 3 cars. Look at that Dunkin' Donuts right over there. That's a nice Dunkin' Donuts, man. Right at the bottom of all these leaning houses. All right, we are passing the Hollywood Boulevard of Amsterdam. They got people dressed up over there and everything, man. Oh man, the rain's really coming down now. Ooh. Holy cow, man. I'm definitely gonna have to put the camera away, so we have to finish this up at the station. But look at their house. But quick side note though, the weather is like perfect. I mean, ain't it feel nice? Even though it's raining, it feels super nice. And now something that I cannot really talk about here is the driving as well as like the motorcycle. I don't know if people are like crazy drivers here or not, I'm gonna be real, but I have heard that they drive a lot better here as well as in Germany too. A lot of people say that people like Germans can drive really well, like y'all good too. I mean, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised because just the amount of hoops you got to jump through just to get your license. I
feel that.
Like, to me, it makes sense. Like, it might be expensive, but yeah, it makes sense. But still, though, I cannot comment on it only because I'm not driving here like that much. So basically, you guys are gonna have to let me know in the comments below: are Dutch good drivers? I remember that one Max Verstappen's quote when he when he hit that drift on him at the Brazil Grand Prix in 2016.
That's crazy.
And they asked him like, how'd you do that? And his answer was literally like, I'm Dutch.
Because I'm Dutch.
Because I'm Dutch. I had to drive in this rain so much in my life, you don't even understand. That wet don't bother me.
I'm Dutch! So yeah, I'm assuming y'all are good drivers, but let me know, I could be wrong. Let me know.
Is Haarlem.
And I do want to make it clear that it's not like I'm saying nothing happens here, because there are crimes. Also, there's petty theft and like things like that. But mainly, overall, you feel safe. And this is the honest to God truth. Like, yeah, it's a lot safer here. People are outside all the time. There are cafes and shops in like most neighborhoods, not just the city center, but like inside neighborhoods, which give you a chance to actually get to know people because you're seeing them so often. So you actually know the people in your neighborhood. And since most people commute using bikes or they're just walking and they're just out and about, again, it just helps it all feel a lot safer. But now let's talk about LA and the situation that a lot of situations that started to happen while I was living in LA that just made it, I would say the states just start going downhill. Man, look at that. Look at the sun. Holy cow, where did this come from? It was like raining like crazy in Amsterdam. And now this is something that
just switch up on you at the drop of a hat. Just like that. Switch up.
I have mentioned in the past regarding work, and that is sometimes I would have to go into work on weekends to change commercials or help the crew change commercials and do all these other things because there was literally like a school shooting. And now look, I don't know what was going on with the states at the time, but around this time, it was just shooting after mass. It was insane. Like for real, it was starting to become so common that it was almost like maybe 2 or 3 a week. And that's crazy. It was happening at schools, happening at malls. It was happening in all these public places, happening in no matter what state it was happening all over. And not to mention, when these things would happen, it was blasted everywhere. I mean, like, you could not blink and not hear about it. Like, it was
Agreed.
everywhere, and it was so terrible because a lot of times it was at like schools. Like, and you're just like why? What is going on? And this was around the time too where my wife and I were thinking about having kids. We were preparing to, have kids, and wow, these things just kept happening. And
Yeah.
yeah, I would say that's when the safety of like America in general, it was just, I would
get
say
that.
that's when it took a huge hit. But think about it,
get
like think
that.
about how crazy that is to be called into work because there was like a mass shooting, and now you have to go and change like commercials out. Like everyone's
Yeah.
called in to change commercials out. And for real, comparing the States to like Europe or even the Netherlands, that's a whole, that just needs to stay over there. Like, it's a whole
That
different
needs to stay over
category.
there.
It is obviously, like, when you think about those like things like that, it is obvious that it's a lot safer
Yeah.
here than over there. And now for me personally, I don't hate guns. And honestly, I don't even think that would solve the problem. If you got rid of all of them in America, it would not solve the problem. Like, I don't know what the answer is, but I do think, banning them will not solve the problem. I mean, at least not in the States. I'm just being real. Because other European countries and other countries, they have guns too, but
Yeah.
they not having the same problem. They also have access to the same video games that we play. They also have access to the same music we listen to. But yet, it's only in the States. So that, to me, says that it's something bigger. Like, it's something a little bit deeper. So
I think my thing about it is that when these things happen, we don't try to implement anything. I think I seen a question. It was President Obama had to answer, and they were like, the question was why it feels like Democrats are trying to take away guns, but why should me, as a responsible gun owner, and all the responsible gun owners, have to give up our right because of people that are like, of course, irresponsible gun owners, criminals, and things of that nature? And he answered, and he was just like, the fact that, like, he said, we're not even trying to take away your guns, but like, we're not even allowed to do gun violence research. We're not even allowed to look into the details, into statistics, without the NRA pushing back, and once they push back, now you got so many people saying, oh, they're trying to take our gun. Like, we can't even do the research. So if you can't do the research, you can't find solutions, possible solutions. It feels like these mass shootings or school shootings happen, and yes, like he said, it's blasted everywhere. It's blasted on all media, and then after a couple of days, like, everyone forgets about it and goes about life like it's nothing. And it's extremely frustrating because I understand people want the right to their guns, for safety, to protect themselves. I completely get it, and I would never say ban guns because I just think that's unrealistic. But it's just frustrating that it seems like nothing happens after. Like, we don't try to implement any kinds of different gun laws. We don't try to make them stricter. We don't, nothing, nothing. And then it happens again, and it happens again, and it happens again. Nothing happens, and nothing happens. And we do nothing. You got one side saying stricter gun laws. You got the other side saying more guns in the hands of good folks and it's like, no, it's frustrating. And if they ban guns, I mean, although I think there would still be an issue, I think there would be a lot less gun crimes. I think it'd be a lot less, and I think we could figure out how to. Of course, it's never going to be zero, but and I'm not against, and I'm not for banning guns because, like I said, I think it's unrealistic to think, but I think it would help. I think it would help. The statistics is probably where I disagree with them. Um, I think it would go down just because either it's that much harder to get one, or you're just not allowed to have them. Some people are going to get them through illegal means, of course, but there's still a lot less people with access to them.
am not pro gun, but I'm also not pro like ban guns. I think, I don't know what the solution Dang, she threw me all off. But now though, let me tell you about the craziest thing I've saw here when it comes to safety. And now I'm not even joking. Like, this is how you know that the Dutch are they just full on gangsters sometimes. And look, I walked specifically to this street just to tell you what happened, because I was walking, I was vlogging, and no joke, there was a guy who like rammed into another guy. I guess he wasn't paying attention. He was in a car. Both guys got out of their car, no joke. And the guy who rammed into the other guy, they were talking, yelling, and this guy like just, I didn't know what was going on, but this guy punched this dude right in the face. The guy fell down, and no joke, the dude who punched the other dude picked him up, and then they started talking. Like, I think it happened like right here. And I mean, obviously I'm not gonna film it, but yeah, he just picked him up and they started talking. It looked like they were exchanging information. I'm not a nosy guy. I mean, so
That's crazy.
yeah. But that's like, again, that like, yeah, man, gangsters. And now just to throw a quick curveball in really quick though, the States isn't bad though. That's what I'm trying to,
Yeah.
like, I do try to tell people that. I feel like it's all in their head. And I think it's the media. The media, man. It's the media. The
Yeah.
States is not that bad.
Yeah.
But the media makes it sound like you don't want to leave the house. So people don't
Agreed.
even leave their house. So yeah, overall, I will say the Netherlands is extremely safe. Like, it is unbelievably safe. You can go out at night. You can leave things on the bus. Like, my wife and I have left things on buses before, and we've gotten it back the next day. Like, like, it is extremely safe. I could leave the drip without worrying too much, but yeah, for the most, yeah, kids go outside and play. And I think, again, I think that plays a huge role in it, because I think the community aspect really, really plays a role in just the safety of the Netherlands. I'm being dead serious. The whole community as a whole, just being out, being around each other and hanging with each other, I think that just plays such a big role in the safety here. And yeah, personally to me, it's one of the safest countries, but that's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think down below. But yeah, I would love to know what you guys think down below, whether you agree with me or disagree with me. I would love to know. But yeah, till then, that is all I got. I hope you guys enjoyed it, because I enjoyed making it. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.
Y'all talk to me in the comment section. Let me know what you think. I think the Netherlands is probably safer, but I do think, like he said, the media blows it out of proportion. When you see on the news and everything, they're only sharing the negative aspects of the U.S. It seems like all the positives just are gone by the wayside because they don't get the same amount of views. So they go to the negative, which is going to draw in more views, which makes the country look worse. But y'all, that's all we've got. If you guys enjoyed, please don't forget to subscribe, give the video a thumbs up, check out the next. I'll see y'all next time.